Puppy Mills FAQ, P2. Should I get a puppy or other live animal from a charity auction? The SUS opposes the auctioning off, selling or donation of live animals for use in charity fundraisers, lotteries, promotional distributions or other events. This includes fundraisers carried on in person, online, over the phone or through other media channels. In some cases, non-profit animal shelters have auctioned off a chance to adopt a pet. This does not engender the same concerns as auctioning off a specific animal to the highest bidder, as long as the shelter or rescue organization requires adopters to follow their regular adoption process before being approved. For more information, please read our statement on the issue of animals in charity auctions, PDF. I think my local pet store might be selling dogs from Puppy Mills. How can I find out? Almost all pet store puppies come from Puppy Mills. Ask the pet store employee to show you the paperwork identifying the puppy's breeder and origins. If he or she refuses to do so or is reluctant to show you the paperwork, consider that a red flag. If you do inspect the paperwork, you may notice that the puppy has been shipped from out of state, often by a broker service. These are just a few indications that the store's dog may have come from a puppy mill. The bottom line is that responsible breeders do not sell their puppies to pet stores. They want to meet their puppy buyers in person and do not sell their puppies to the first person who shows up with cash in hand. Where can I find a list of known puppy mills? For many reasons, the SUS does not publish a list of known puppy mills. There are literally thousands of puppy mills in existence all over the country, and most of them are not required to register with any one agency. There are so many unregulated puppy mills that to publish a list of the known or problem mills may give the public a false impression that any establishment that is not on the list is safe. Nothing could be further from the truth. In fact, some problematic puppy mills have been known to change their names and locations frequently to evade their reputations. Why can't we just outlaw puppy mills? The Puppy Mills Campaign for the Humane Society of the United States works to improve standards of care for dogs in commercial breeding operations through policy efforts and by educating consumers and sellers on the issue. The campaign has made important strides toward significantly increasing standards of care for these dogs by getting laws passed in 35 states. The SUS's investigations of puppy mills and pet stores have led to multiple consumer lawsuits, and have shut down dozens of puppy mills and pet stores nationwide. Through awareness events, we have educated millions about the problems in the large-scale commercial dog breeding industry. We've also rescued more than 10,000 dogs from more than 50 different puppy mills since 2006, dogs who are now in loving homes. In addition to persuading the United States Department of Agriculture to regulate breeders who sell directly to the public, we also encourage the agency to finalize an import rule that will prevent the suffering of thousands of puppies from foreign mills. For far too long, puppies have been subjected to harsh overseas transport at a young age, often before they are fully vaccinated or weaned. The new regulations require puppies to be at least 6 months old and healthy before they can be shipped to the United States. We're also working to affect the demand with a consumer education and outreach program that encourages adoption or the purchase of dogs only from responsible breeders. Our corporate outreach efforts provide positive reinforcement for pet stores that choose to not sell puppies. We also offer help to those that do sell puppies, assisting them in making the switch to a business model that promotes adoption. By offering puppies from shelters or rescues instead of commercial breeders, stores can save the lives of animals in search of homes and ultimately help save the breeding dogs trapped in puppy mills. So far, the 22 stores we have helped to convert have adopted out more than 3,000 dogs and puppies. While legislation is the key to ensuring lasting change for animals, simply passing a law to ban puppy mills, an idea that's often proposed, is impractical. Anyone who has worked on legislation, even on something as basic as stopping abuse, can tell you that bringing a bill from an idea into a law is a long and difficult process. Even bills that pass into law often do not contain all the protections we would desire. Sadly, some purebred dog registries and kennel clubs, which often receive registration fees from puppy mills, have lobbied heavily against these changes, and they have even recruited other animal use industry groups to help them. Scare tactics are used by those who profit the most from a lack of regulation in the pet industry to frighten small breeders into mistakenly thinking that the proposed laws will apply to them. This strategy has led some smaller breeders and local kennel clubs to oppose bills that would only impact the worst and biggest puppy mills. This makes public support all the more vital. Sign up to receive action alerts about our legislative efforts in your state. We ask responsible breeders to join us in this effort to change conditions for dogs who are warehoused in a life of misery in a puppy mill. If you are a breeder who wants to help stop the abuses of large-scale puppy mills, please get in touch with us. Isn't it against the law to sell a sick puppy? Because puppies from puppy mills are more likely to have health problems due to poor care, many consumers are faced with significant veterinary bills or even the death of their puppy soon after purchase. In an attempt to hold breeding facilities and sellers responsible, several states have passed consumer protection laws that specifically address puppies. These laws, often called puppy lemon laws, have good intentions and theory behind them, but most have limitations. Under most of the laws, the dog owner is offered a refund, another puppy, or reimbursement of veterinary bills up to the purchase price of the puppy within a certain period of time. But when faced with a sick or dying puppy, most people choose not to give the puppy back but rather focus their efforts on saving the animal. A common fear is that the seller will simply destroy the puppy rather than invest the money and time into restoring the animal's health. Should the puppy die, most families are not ready to risk the heartbreak of yet another sick puppy from the same seller, so providing them with another puppy is not an acceptable option. Nevertheless, an effective puppy lemon law can provide at least some recourse to unsuspecting families who purchase sick puppies and may provide a financial incentive for pet sellers to provide improved conditions and veterinary attention for the dogs and puppies in their care. What about anti-cruelty laws? Don't those affect puppy mills? Although all 50 states have anti-cruelty laws intended to prevent neglect and mistreatment of dogs, most large-scale breeding facilities continue to operate in ways that mock these laws. In many cases, dogs in puppy mills are kept in physically and emotionally damaging conditions under which an individual pet dog would never be allowed to suffer. Anti-cruelty laws are seldom applied to puppy mills as long as the animals have the rudimentary basics of shelter, food, and water. Puppy mill dogs are often treated as agricultural crops and not as pets. Some local humane societies and governmental agencies investigate conditions at puppy mills and intervene to rescue the animals if necessary. In many cases, though, local authorities may not set foot on a puppy mill unless they have received a complaint from a credible person who has personally witnessed substandard conditions and animal suffering. Because so few puppy mills invite customers onto their property to purchase dogs, it can be extremely difficult for law enforcement to intervene. This is why the SUS supports legislation requiring regular unannounced inspections of large-scale puppy mills. In those cases where local authorities are empowered to investigate, the sheer magnitude of the problem can place an extraordinary burden on human, physical and financial resources. Shelters that have been able to intervene on the animal's behalf may suddenly find themselves with a large number of animals in need of immediate veterinary care. Additionally, the shelter may become responsible for housing the dogs throughout what can often be a lengthy legal process. The cost for veterinary care and basic food and housing can run into the tens of thousands of dollars within weeks of seizing as few as 50 dogs from a poorly run facility. Most shelters consider protecting these vulnerable animals part of their mission and are generally eager to remove animals from such poor conditions. It is important to remember, though, that regular shelter operations do not stop when a raid is conducted. The shelter will still need to be open to the public and will still need to provide care and housing for the normal number of animals being brought to it by the community. If a shelter is able to enter an inhumane breeding operation and remove dogs, financial and community support during the aftermath is essential to ensuring the animals receive the help they need. Let me know, what do you think? Looking forward to your comments.